Hey guys, how's it going? Of course, welcome to my very new set of videos for the end of each draft league I record on this channel called a draft reflection. Of course, I should be doing my schoolwork, but besides that, I am doing this because the KCDL draft reflection is something very important to me because as a future teacher coming up soon, I have to make reflections of like what has been happening, not what has been happening, but like what has happened and how can I improve my stuff on that. I cannot be staying stagnant, and this will help me out to be a better player in the very end. But this is for a journal for y'all and journal for myself. Of course, I want to shout out to everybody. I want to shout out PokeMD, Diet Titan, Saki Dude for their draft help and everything throughout the season. But also the goddamn goats, like Saki Dude again for mocks and prep and drafting and stuff. Mudkip fan 4589, or Mudkip fan of course for short, or Kipp. He has been carrying the preparation and stuff when Saki Dude is too busy. Another one is, Dragon Lobster at the very beginning, Falcon at the very end, Dustman Lexi around certain points too whenever they're not busy, and also the finale of that with I Am Destroy, after we had played our games and stuff like that. But besides that, I do want to say shout out to everybody that had played against me, or supported with me. But besides that, I do want to say, spoiler warning ahead for that, but I'll give y'all a little chance to watch the video. I'll send the link in the description below, and I'll send the little post right here. If you haven't watched the KCDL season, or haven't watched the finals game, I'll give y'all some time. In 3, 2, 1. I have won the KCDL draft league. So this is something that I have to say myself. I'm very proud of myself for getting this so far from a year ago, because at this point, this is my main Wi-Fi draft league that it came back. This is basically my resurgence. All the draft leagues I've been practicing and showdown and stuff like that, this is all culmination to this. So as you see here, we were in the White Run division, which is of course, the logo. Shout out to Tone for that. But as you see, all the YouTuber level stuff, they probably put that in the back burner. But like you see, you get what's it called? You get people like D-Double, which I played against them before. Frosty Randoms also, I thought that, and General Thomas, so I had to lock in case I had to do that. But unfortunately, I had some things happen. But another scary thing was I had to face off against Dashing Sceptile and Nova X Blader, which were very dangerous players, and I was praying that I was hoping that I don't have to worry about them in the later half of the season or even playoffs. But besides that, I'll try to give y'all my perspective of like how the week went and stuff like that. And let's get into the first game of the entire KCDL season and enjoy. Was good. You just got out the intro. Good job for y'all for the New Orleans Swamperts and everything. We decided to draft out this team. Of course, we got Zacian, our very powerful physical breaker. It wasn't very good in the very beginning, and I thought about like what should I do with it, but decided, you know what, it's too good as a fairy type. I thought it's whatever, and guess what, it popped off in certain areas, and we'll talk about that Pokemon later. But this Pokemon had popped off later on in the season, so make sure you check that out whenever you can in the end of the video. And yeah, make sure you check out the KCDL finals where this Pokemon popped off for some of the game. So yeah, let's move on. As you see, Zarude against the Terra Captain popped off for every part of the season. Finals, semifinals, week 1, week 9, whatever. It popped off no matter what game it came from. Of course, I had one little slip up at the very end, but it didn't really matter because, of course, we had the entire thing with, of course, you'll have 105 HP, making sure it's fat as hell with 414 HP, and if you do max its HP, 120 attack, very broken, 105 speed, and this combo is why, speed tiers don't really matter as much. Rather, it can be very exploitable in certain matchups. But yeah, that's the main thing. Special attack at 70, 95, 105 defense. Very good bulk. Very good that. Even though it's dark and grass type, is very good as overall as like a single type rather than just, boom, dark grass. But yeah, I want to shout out to, both for PokeMD for not only giving me Zacian and of course Zarude. And this is the final pick that Joey ever is going to help me out with. That's Landorus-Therian. He suggested me those 3 picks as a very good offensive core. And I realized, oh shoot, Joey isn't there. And of course, a few other people were there. And of course, Landorus-Therian is the next Pokemon. Very good special attack, 89 HP, all that. It has very good bulk, very good attack and special attack, and 91 speed. So I'm happy about that. I want to shout out to Joey for helping me out with this pick and everything. As we move on, this will be my final trial where I have everything now is on my own and I had a little bit of assistance. So yeah, let's move on and see from there. Of course, shout out to myself. I decided to make the pick for Glimmora as it is a poison type. Of course, no poison type would want to do Toxic Spikes, and no physical attacker would not want to do physical attacks, as I have Glimmora, Toxic Spike Heaven. As you see, 83 HP, 55 attack, 90 defense, 130, 81, and 86 speed. So the main reason why I had is because, above 85, of course, outruns Quaquaval, outruns, certain Pokemon, and I do like the Pokemon as a whole. I thought it was a very good Pokemon as a Meteor Beam Pokemon, a Spike Stacker, Hazard Setter, and it actually helped me out with one of the games coming up. It wasn't really mostly a help, but it did help me out for 1 set of the week or 2 sets of the week, but rather than that, it found out that was not really as good as what I expect. But that's how it is in most Pokemon. You realize, oh hey, this Pokemon be good for this setting, and it doesn't seem as good. But yeah, let's move on to the next Pokemon. And these 2 next 2 Pokemon, I want to shout out to Saki Dude for. As you see, we got Iron Crown, the most definitive Pokemon in the entire set. As you see, for week 1, it did some work. It did some work in week 3. But also, playoffs and week number 8, you'll find out that it did stupid work. Stupid work. Having 90 HP, 100 defense, 108 speed, special defense, 98 speed, 122 special attack. This is a Pokemon you see as a threat. Fortunately, I didn't terrestrialize it, but I knew this Pokemon was goated. Not only that, but Diet Tight used this Pokemon in his entire draft league. Diet Tight used it in his PPL run, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and he made it all the way to finals because of how broken this Pokemon is with Terra. But I decided to use it without Terra because, who knew? Zarude is too broken as a Pokemon. So I wanted to get it. Well, let's move on to the next game. Let's Pokemon and see from there. And bada boom. We got Volcanion. Another Saki Dude pick. Very fat. Never used it for physical attacking. I think I only did it for dashing or somebody. But I never used it beyond special attack. Fat as hell. Either in the physically bulky or especially bulky. I never used it in between. And I chose it, hey, this is probably the best idea. Go for physical bulk, special bulk, and then whatever else has a special attack or speed. This Pokemon had carried and was so fat that people were like, damn, Bandil using Volcanion like it's a damn goat. I should be able to use that. And the main premise of Volcanion is you have to use it as a bulky threat or a bulky attacker. You can't use it as a little setup sweeper. Because that could be one thing, because it can get a little bit too passive with all that stuff. But yeah, let's move on to the next Pokemon and see from there. As you see, our first Pokemon here is Regieleki. And, next Pokemon is Regieleki. As you see, it has very mediocre attacks. Of course, Transistor being broken with, of course, that. But 200 speed, this was my max speed thing that I wanted to bring in. Which I was happy that I got that through. Which 200 speed was my fastest speed tier rather than Zacian. But I kind of knew in my mind, hey, things happen. Hopefully I can outrun everything. Outrun stuff with Scarf. And, yeah, that's the main thing to have fun with. But yeah, let's move on to the next mon. And as you see, these 2 Pokemon go hand in hand. I'll talk about them together. Leavanny is obviously a Pokemon that you see as a Sticky Webber. But I thought, hey, this could be a good Groudon counter. Having 70 special attack, 103 attack. Could be a way to knock out Groudon, depending on the situation. 75 HP, 80, and defense and special defense. Even though with god-awful typing and bug and grass, I decided, this is probably a good idea to bring in as a sun counter in case they bring in, Groudon from one of my opponents in the Poke Professor. So shout out to the not Poke Professor. That's the wrong one. What's their name? Brandon P. Brandon P was the one, or just another Poketuber. That's what it was. Just another Poketuber is their tag. But yeah, they brought in the Sun team. They brought Ruby the Groudon, and they had some things happen. But I realized that Levani was not going to be as useful as I thought it would be. But let's move on to our last mon, and as you see, it goes hand in hand. Hippopotas was originally supposed to be this baby pick that was like a meme. I thought, hey, EBLI Hippopotas could do some work. 68, 68 HP, 70 defense. I'm like, hey, be a good Groudon counter. Could be something you could work with, but it was too passive. It was going to be through, but it was a pretty funny Pokemon to pick with. So yeah, I'm satisfied for all the Pokemon that I picked here. Let's move on to week number 1 and have some fun with it, baby. Let's get it. All right, we're going to start on week number 1 as we played against Bonana. What's the name? All right, besides the jokes and everything, we played against Bonana and their team of Rayquaza, Blaziken, which is Terra, of course, Iron Treads, Grimmsnarl, Milotic, Terra Jolteon, Ditto, Weezing, and of course the Lurantis and Azelf combo. So yeah, this team was updated to change up a few things, but the saddest part is that their entire team revolves around Blaziken, it revolves around Rayquaza, because Blaziken was a very dangerous Terra. Normally it is banned, or it is there, but it's like kind of one of those big, powerful things. They thought it would be a good idea, and they didn't bring in a second Uber because they thought Blaziken, Rayquaza would be enough offensively to work out, and then Jolteon there too. They did make up their changes, but with the team happening, what's it called? The team I had was, of course, having the Zacian, having the Zacian, having the Zarude, having the Lando, having these things coming through. I had the Lando, and of course, the last couple mons I had were it's the little dog my parents have. But yeah. Besides that, we got Zacian the dog, we got Zarude, we got Lando is just obviously the big 3. Iron Crown, Volcanion. Yeah, Volcanion was the mon, and then Regieleki. Regieleki completely outsped their team. If that was the case, they outsped, I think, one of their Pokemon was, because that's the reason why I had Regieleki. It was for the speed ties and stuff like that. But Regieleki did come to the front and everything for one powerful situation. The one powerful situation was that, of course, it was there to get rid of Rayquaza. It did do a little bit of health, and it just volt switched out. It was there to test out Scarf. Well, it's mainly there to test out Scarf with having, Terra normal gym, extreme speed, and stuff like that. But yeah, besides that and everything, it did get walled by Iron Treads. But the Weezing was a set of Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, and Destiny Bond. That was the main thing, because if they had Sludge Bomb on Zarude, which of course this time it was, I'm trying to remember what Terra it was. Oh yeah, it was Terra Fairy. So if it was like Terra Fairy Zarude, then I think I could have, I walled the Weezing guaranteed. It's just they had Sludge Bomb, then it would have been more of a problem. But yeah, so that was the main thing. Having that entire team, having that revolve around Zarude was a very relaxing setting, as Zarude was the secondary breaker rather than the primary. And that's what I learned through certain matchups, is you cannot have Zarude as your primary breaker. It is there to help support the team rather than trying to build off and stuff. And if you have that good team guaranteed, then it'll be perfect for you. But this was a 5-0 on my end. Zarude completely swept and got me my first incident of the season, which I'm so happy about. But yeah, let's move on to the next game. Let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot their team. They did Terra fighting Blaziken. I think it was Terra fighting Blaziken, Rayquaza, Iron Treads, Grimmsnarl, Milotic, and Weezing. Of course, Weezing was there with the neutralizing gas, if I remember correctly. Either that or Levitate, I forgot. But we did do that. We swept their team, and of course, their entire team got destroyed by the likes of Zarude, and of course, the 319 speed they did to outspeed Rayquaza. But yeah, let's move on to the next game. Let's see what we can do from there, and hopefully have some more fun, baby. Alrighty, we're in week number 2 of the KCDL. As you see, we're facing off right here. Well, we did face off against Nova. So, I'll tell you the little spoiler right quick in there, right now. this was a loss. So, you want to know how bad? Let me describe it to you. So, as you see here, I was expecting, say, the top 6, maybe say top, 5, and then maybe Drift Blim. And then I was kind of stuck with Regieleki for speed, Iron Crown for that. I didn't think Lando was going to come because, Chien Pao is obviously the most threatening Mon on the team. What I didn't get to realize is that Chien Pao was one of the main Mons that's going to do a crap ton of damage. And Skyman is a damn problem as itself. And, I realized in my mind that, Skyman was in 19 points. And I was like paying attention to Terabagos. This shit should have stayed in the bronze tier. It should have stayed. Hell fucking no to this Mon. I mean, I'm sorry for my language, but hell no to this Mon staying in the 19s. Hell no. But besides that, we do have Zacian, of course. We got ourselves top 2, and then Gomorrah for Corrosion for Glow King. We got the Glow King and Zamazenta. We got, of course, Volcanion. We got basically top 2 plus the rest of the top 3. Basically, in my mind, Hippopotas and Leavanny were not going to be useful until like the mid-end game or whatever, where we faced off against, say, our opponent for the future week, which they had a Sun team, so that's on my mind. And as you probably know in the draft videos and stuff like that, it is Brandon P, or what's it called? Yeah, they had those things. So we had that. So having these, these Pokemon, we lost, but this was our worst loss in the entire season. Bring that to the perspective. I got a 5-0 win. That was completely reversed with a 1-1 plus 0 because of how brutally I got beaten. Of course, Driplim did absolute work with the Regieleki. Of course, the main Mon was Skyman, deleting my Iron Crown and a few other Mons. Zamazenta Zamazenta didn't do much, but Glow King deleted. Glow King with Toxic, Skyman with their offense, and then Driplim just completely deleted my team. Of course, War Turtle was brought, but it was an embarrassment, alright. I felt so embarrassed, but I wasn't in the best mind state at the time then. And I'll probably tell you, and I'll probably link some, but my dad did say something that was very distasteful. I was not in the best mindset. Not only that, I think I was running sick too, so those type of 2 things kind of just completely zapped up all my energy and my excitement for the matchup. And I was kind of whatever. So that's the main thing. I'm still kind of in that down the dumps with my dad. But yeah, Nova did the best, give me my worst loss, which I want to applaud them because they fought like hell to get to playoffs. Even though they missed out and they got outlasted by Blakey, I'm proud of Brandon. I'm proud of Blakey for trying their. I'm proud of Nova for even doing this back and forth thing because they're going through. They were going through SPL and KCDL. In SPL, you can have the chance to be in this big YouTuber league. Like basically, you would be like Joey, Shuckle King, Uzi, for example. So this is like their big calling of why they kind of ditched that after week 2, week 3, or whatever. But yeah, let's move on to week number 3 and let's see what we can do from there. Alrighty, so this was our only fallen soldier in the KCDL. We have Honky Donkey and their Steamy Stunfisk, but sadly, after this point, around week 3, week 4, after week 3 / week 4, I think it was the end of week 4 where they dropped and they got replaced by a person named Roxos. Shouts out to them, another creator that is drive by certain, it has the same intuitions as me. But of course, this is Hunky. This is a very dangerous team, and of course, Hunky had an unfortunate circumstance where this week that we played, he used the same team as in week 2, which was of course Sword Dance plus Agility, which was the very scary thing that I did not want to face whenever I did Saki. But shout out to Saki dude for helping me prep for that. Yeah, Dragapult, which was completely knocked out. We got Great Tusk, Mandibuzz, Tinkaton, and of course Greninja. Terra Greninja with Terra Fire. Zaru did dominate the game. It was supposed to be a Zacian game this coming week, but unfortunately Iron Crown had took it over as the game disconnected. The game disconnected. I was 5-0. I was planning on sacking off Iron Crown and finishing off Zacian. So we both agreed that, of course, I would get the 4-0 win versus them. And by then, you know, Zacian would have been the facing mon of the video. And we could have had something fun finally for Zacian. But that'll be something later, because Zacian, even though they had their one chance in the sun, will not get their chance until way later in the thing. Let's get it. And we'll be right back within there. I think we won, 4-0 like I said. But that was the main thing. That, Dragon Bolt being annoying, Tinkaton barely doing anything, and Greninja just completely getting steamed out by Zarude. But yeah, let's move on to the last game and see what we can do from there, baby. Well, not last game, but next week. Alrighty, we're here with week number 4 versus Horizon. And as you see, their team is super scary, having Zekrom, Tornadus T, Palafin, Fable, Ensign, Toadscruel, and of course having Miss Maggie's Terra, and then the other two being Metagross and Ariados. But this team right here is super scary. In my mind, this was a good team overall. But the bad thing was that, of course, even though Zekrom and Tornadus T were two very dangerous Pokemon, Tornadus T being a very good Terra Captain if you play it correctly. Because I've used it in what's it called? I used it in Diet Tights League before. But having that entire team, having a spinner, having that's amazing. The sad thing is that this was Regiolecki's last chance to make it through and have fun with this. Unfortunately, Regiolecki got completely steamrolled by the likes of Toadscruel, Instant Fake Out, Jet Punch from that. Of course, Iron Crown, what I didn't bring. Oh yeah, I didn't bring Glamora. I don't think I brought Glamora because of Toadscruel and stuff, but this was a top three Volcanion, Iron Crown, and Regiolecki. But this was Regiolecki's last stand. Had Terra normal extreme speed to get rid of the Palafin, stuff like that. Didn't work out. Zekrom walled me too, besides the Toadscruel, and it sucked. It sucked badly, and I hated the fact that I was preparing too much for webs, Miss Magius, and all that stuff. But yeah, it was sucks. We did lose, I think 2-0, whatever, to Tornadus and Palafin. But yeah, this was a fun game, but I'll give you a little bit of a teaser. We do play against them again, but hopefully we'll have some fun and see what their team is in the future. But yeah, let's move on to week number 5. Alright, we're in week number 5 where we face off against Brandon P, as you see right there. And I want to shout out to one person in specifics, is Sakidude. If Sakidude didn't give me the idea of Terra Dark knockoff Zarude with Choice Scarf, I don't think I would have won against Brandon P, I'll be honest. Even though Zacian did a little bit of work, Lando did that, Volcanion did a little bit of work, Glamora had the perfect lead matchup. Of course, having the Reverum, the Shift Gear, trying to go for Iron Head, Toxic Spikes being around, of course Cinderace being there, and having the Earth Power and everything to knock out, well, basically, I Earth Powered on the Shift Gear, which gets them down to Sash, hit them again, get the Earth Power again. I think I'm trying to remember what I did, but I remember I had Sash on the Glamora, knocked out the Reverum because it was whatever, and then started to clean house with the rest of their team because I think after Glamora, I poisoned the. Oh yeah, never mind. I'm trying to think what the item was. I was like basically Special Lando, hit most of their team, but I had Glamora. They broke down the Reverum, got poison spikes down, and affected most of the matchup. Especially whenever they did Energy Ball on the likes of Groudon, getting a little bit of chip, getting Sludge Bomb on the, I think it was Sludge Bomb on the Mismon, the Scream Tail, but I don't know what I did with it. But after this point, when Raxos joined, their team will change too. But hopefully we don't face them off because they had a super scary team in the future. But yeah, let's move on. Of course, we won, I think 4-0, 3-0, remember? But Zarude just clean house on this team. Of course, cleaning up against the Groudon, Raging Bolt, obviously, with Terra Flying. What else? They did get rid of the, let's see. Yeah, to get rid of that, got rid of Screen Tail. No, it's not Screen Tail. It was basically Groudon, Raging Bolt, and then Cinderace, which is pretty funny, but yeah. But yeah, that's the main thing. We did win, and I'll shout out Sakidude. Of course, he's the goddamn GOAT. He's the G-O-A-T. Yes, sir. He's the GOAT. But yeah, I'm going to plug in his Ball Joey Draft League in the little middle screen right here. And also within that, I will link his thing in the description below of the Ball Joey Draft League. He co-owns it with Brody, which is part of their little Pokemon crew, which is basically all like the active members that are on stream in his server. But yeah, let's move on to week number 6 and see what we can do from there. What's good, everybody? So this dummy forgot to tell y'all something. So this dummy said, oh yeah, let's move on to week number 6, or let's move on to the next one. No, we got free agency coming in on the Swift. So I want to show y'all a few things. As you see for the first little trade right here, we have traded away Reggie Galecki and gave ourselves Klefki. Klefki is one of the mons that is there, and it fully carried out the rest of the season and everything. You probably see in the description below that this Pokemon completely carried the rest of our season with Klefki. But unfortunately, Reggie Galecki did have some good times in week number 1, but it struggled every week afterwards. But yeah, that's the main thing. Unfortunately, Reggie Galecki struggled, so that's why it had to go. Well, let's move on to the next trade and see from there. As you see, we got Leavanny, the Pokemon that's a Weber, versus Charjabug that's a Weber. But it shows Charjabug because it could pivot, it could Thunder Wave, it could lunge, it could do whatever. Creative Leavanny, which is mainly an attacker and a Weber, which is not very as useful compared to like what Charjabug can do as a utility mon. And yeah, that's the main thing. You'll probably see later on in the week and everything for week number 6 about what Charjabug can do. But yeah, I'll let past me get to the reflection and everything rather than future me. Or well, future me to past me, my bad. Let's move on to the last one, and as you see, we got the Hippopotas, the Potas versus the Pinch. So we traded the 1-point ground types and everything, mainly for Sand, for priority first impression, because 100 base attack first impression on that is really stupid and broken, and we were able to terrestrialize as well, so that's pretty much a very funny concept. I'm like, oh yeah, if I ever have the chance, I will definitely get the Pinch to get that through. So yeah, that's the main thing. We're Hippopotas, get your Pinch. So yeah, that's the main thing with these two mons. Just, having some fun. Even though Trapinch with week number 6 would have been the best opportunity to use it. But, I mean, it is what it is, they say. And, things happen. But yeah, let's move on to week number 6 and see what the little motherfucker does to us. And here's the thing right here. This is week number 6 versus Nuglo. Nuglo was probably a difficult matchup. As you see, they have the Dialga, Fluttermane. Lando I is pretty good. I'm surprised they didn't get the terrestrialization over like Arcanine and Lilligant. Probably because of points reasons they had that. But this was the only game that Charjabug was in availability, where it dropped the speed of literally everybody, but it helped Volcanion clean their team up. Of course, Arcanine got hit by the Volcanion. Hitmontop couldn't do nothing because of Rapid Spin. Of course, Ogerpon got Hitmontop got completely destroyed by Dad, and also Iron Crown being there. But yeah, all of this team. Oh no, I don't think. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, I think most of their team except for Hitmontop. Yeah. I think that no, they're Quillfish. Yeah, so they're Lilligant, Quillfish, Arcanine, of course, Ogerpon, and then Fluttermane, and then that. There's no Lando, no Hitmontop, and I think from there I completely destroyed his team after the first turn because Webs completely went up, and no, I don't think it was Quillfish. It was basically Fluttermane, Dialga, which is the top 2, Ogerpon, Hitmontop, Arcanine, and Lilligant. But yeah, I think after the first, I'm trying to remember what was their lead. I remember I Volt Switch out against them. I did hit them with the did Volt Switch out, did whatever. I put up Webs, then Volt Switch out on the, it was Volt Switch, So I went Webs, Volt Switch out on their team, and then completely did work with Volcanion, which is the main mon on the team. And then, of course, it was Terra Poison Zarude, but I was fortunate I didn't have to face Lando. But of course, their team got destroyed because they didn't play effective. Oh yeah, it was Thunder Wave or whatever. We had a disconnection, but it was a lot of fun. Breaking their team down, getting things through, and Sticky Web just falling their speed down dramatically. But yeah, that was pretty fun. We had fun against Nuglo. I say great games to them. Unfortunately, they did change. I don't know if they changed their team or not, but they were unable to make the playoffs after that point because we gave them their 4th or 5th loss. But yeah, that was the main thing. We knocked them down a peg, and we got ourselves up. And as you see here, we got Klefki, of course, our beautiful Klefki, Charger Bug, as you see, and Chapinch. And of course, we had our team of, top 3, obviously, Iron Crown, Volcanion, and of course, we had Charger Bug, and that was it. But yeah, let's move on to week number 7. As you see now, these teams are final after this point. So their team is stuck as this. My team is stuck as this. Let's move on to the next game and see what we can do from there. And as you load in, this is the matchup versus Dashing Sceptile. This is the final matchup I'll do my own, as we will have an interview by a special guest, and I'll bring the descriptions up below when we begin. But yeah, as you see here, this is our matchup. Of course, I had a little bit of help because of our interviewee, and I had Mudkipp Fan help me out a little bit. Had Saki Dude help me out, and we thought of possibilities like Scarf Goldango. Saki had Colbert Goldango. They had Scarf Darkrai, which is a possibility. They had Terrapagos, which had a bunch of stuff. Garchomp, which was some of the stuff, and we were like, oh yeah, we can pivot out of this, and this. Vesindipity is one, Vaporeon for Wish. Of course, we even had Spidops, but we never expected the Avalugg. Avalugg completely destroyed my team, breaking down. Of course, their team was basically top 5 plus Avalugg, which that team completely destroyed me. I think it's not fully destruction, but it was like basically 4-0 or 3-0 or whatever, and I lost from there. But I knew coming into this that I have to break this team down if I can win this ring. That was the main mindset I had as you get into our final week, and it'll be a rematch. And I'll bring it to you within my good buddy coming up soon, and I'll get a description. Of course, please make sure you like and subscribe. And also, we'll get into the interview with Kipp or Mudkipp Fan, and I'll bring in the thing right here. Here's the channel, and enjoy the interview. So, today we are, like I'm doing, back again with week number 8 of our little reflection, and decided to bring a special someone because he started carrying the entire preparation for everything. Tell us hi.
Yo, hello, it's me, Kipp Fan, or Kipp as I go on YouTube, and
yep.
Yeah, hello there.
Yo, how you doing? Besides that,
yeah, I'm doing
well?
Great. Yeah, I'm happy just to join you and maybe give some insights on some of these games, since I did help with some of the buildings. Some of the building for this season, and especially in the later games. And
of course,
yeah, take it away with the matchup we got here for week 8 game.
Well, it is week 8/round 1, so you got a lot of work to get through. But I want to tell everybody, make sure you check out his content. Make sure you check out his stuff on the link in the description below, because he had fucking carried my entire playoff run. So I want to shout out to him for that. But first off, you see the team. It is Magearna, Palkia, Weavile, Terra Ursaluna, Terra Sinistra, Deoxys Speed, Cinccino, Oricorio Sensu, because here's the reason why we had chose Oricorio Sensu, and Eevee. So, what was the entire situation, and why did you decide you need to go for a sweet reset on Iron Crown?
Oh yeah, so don't want to spoil anything, but our plan was simply to lead with lead, weakness, policy, agility, calm mind, Iron Crown. Looking at this matchup, to be honest, given how our team is built, we only really have like 7 bringable mons, though Charger Bug did put in work for, I believe, week 6, so
yeah, obviously week 6.
Something. And also, yeah, Glimora also isn't great here, so I was thinking of like what sort of stuff Iron Crown can do, and I was just thinking like all of their leads, like most of them will be really passive. We can set up on like the likes of Deoxys and stuff like that. And maybe Magearna, they don't really have too many lead options in my opinion, so I felt like it was pretty free just to set up and start breaking and see how much damage it can do, and let some of our threats in the back to clean up the game from there. And that's just the general idea that I had. But yeah.
So I got this entire name set for it. So I mean, Diet Type started this entire situation where you start setting up on everything turn 1, and then literally break the entire team. So how do you feel if I coined the term the Diet Titan method?
I mean, he's done it multiple times, as he said. Like, obviously he has all the stuff in the bags. He's done like multiple mocks and stuff. I'll be honest, he's also a great player.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people I know are also in his server as well, help him with mocks and stuff. But yeah, sometimes the opponent will just end up leading too passively, and you'll just get like a few turns to set up. And against some teams, if they're like really weak against that composition or something they're not prepared against, it could just really steamroll through their team. Really do a huge amount of damage, be able to break it down, or in some instances just be able to take the whole game from turn 1. So yeah, that's basically the idea. Instead of leading something that's like a hazard lead or something to set up the rest of the game, just to immediately put a lot of offensive pressure on the opposing team and go straight for setup and trying to win the game.
Yeah, and that'd be amazing and everything. So another thing too is that we decided the plan for the week 8 match was do not reveal anything, and that was the entire thing. Was we cannot reveal anything on this team. We can reveal items, we can reveal this, but we cannot reveal anything on this team.
Yeah, the thing
because at this point, at this point and everything, we would potentially play against them in round 1, which bada bing, bada boom, we play against them. So basically, from that stuff. So how do you think about preparation for playoffs round 1? Besides changing up some stuff.
Obviously, a few things were different going into round 1. I'm not sure. Should we go over like the results of the week 8 game first?
Oh yeah, no. I already told him the results and everything in the very beginning. Not the beginning, but I already told like what I did, and I did a little spoiler warning. But we did win week 8. I think it was a 4/5-0, if I remember correctly. Because at the rest of the game and everything, Zacian just cleaned up the team.
Yeah, like, to be honest, our Iron Crown was really close just to cleaning the game from turn 1, just like intended. Unfortunately, we did get paralyzed, but I mean...
Yeah, we got paralyzed and Weavile knocked me off.
On their part.
Yeah, they had some good...
But yeah, Zacian was just able to clean game from there, and we're able to take home a nice 4-0 dub because Lando got absolutely nuked by a critical hit facade.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, 4-0 because Lando got crit, but that's the thing. Zacian just cleaned up the rest of the game. But I want to give you your perspective on playoffs round 1. We said we didn't want to reveal anything, but how many mons did we not change? How many mons do you think?
Pretty sure we just kept like most of the team the same, right? Pretty much all we did was change agility on Iron Crown for Iron Defense. Still have the same plan since it's kind of hard to bring it in or lock into a choice move into their team, to be honest. And what I expect, what they might want to do is try and go and hit us with that Ursaluna instead. They could lead it, or if they lead Dio, they might be forced out into it, which would be even better, to be honest. And yeah, we'll just be able to start setting up again and probably take Ursaluna down, and if things go our way, another Mon down to it or just some good chip. But even if they do revenge us, it gives us some momentum anyway, so yeah, that's the general idea of Iron Crown. And since we like really did not reveal much, all we changed was Choice Scarf to Lumberry on Zacian, and since we did expect that they might want to bring Sinister this time, and most of the rest of the sets stayed the same, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So the first game they brought top 2 Weavile, Ursaluna, Deoxys Speed, and Oricorio Sensu. But in the playoff rematch, they brought top 2. In playoff rematch, they brought top 2, and then the rest of the top 6. And then they brought in Cinchino for hazard removal, which for some reason they had that. They tried to go for speed.
Got one shot, I believe, and didn't do anything. But yeah, they did have it. sure.
Yeah, and the whole thing was that we played well. The thing was, we didn't know at the time, but we tried to do our little preparation stuff and everything. And what happened was, we had multiple disconnections on my grandmother's house and everything, because I was playing at her house at the time.
Yeah.
And basically, like, almost all the time, Iron Crown killed Ursaluna. But, like, there was this one time, like, it missed the roll. So it was like a 95% chance that it would have not killed. Like, it would have killed him.
Yeah, because they were like, I'm not sure how much bulk they had, but
they were
they
AV
definitely
Ursaluna.
Bulk best.
They were AV
Yeah,
for
do
sure.
you know the exact EVs, like specially defensive investment?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think they're like max HP, max attack.
Alright, that's fair.
But yeah, besides that,
yeah.
and everything. But yeah, besides
In the
that,
end, things did end up working out for us. Things
Yeah.
did go plan. Obviously not with all the disconnect and some of the hacks later.
and
that
of
Sinister
course,
had.
and he admitted to me in the interview, like, yeah, I've been using this, and everybody in my mock group and everything hated the Oxys speed because he'd been using it as a para-hacks mon, which I was not surprised about, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of a hard matchup for them. They don't really have many great options, and the Lumberry on Zacian did actually end up coming into play against the Sinister there, where at that point I think he was kind of just fishing for burns with Chugotcha, but luckily we did have the Lumberry to prevent that, and
Yeah,
just to clean up with the game, because they attempted to do something with Magina, but we were simply able to break through it with our Zacian and get the rest of the game
that's the
from
thing.
there.
They're trying to set up and everything from that. Because I saw their little, I
Yeah,
think I
but-
remember their little thing with it. They try to set up and everything with Magirna because, I mean, Zacian's going to be an absolute problem. And then I think Zarude also got absolutely burned too because Zarude got Parahats to death.
Yeah.
So basically, it was
we
either.
definitely should. Yeah, we
Yeah,
should
the
have
main-
1v1 that Sinister, to be honest, but yeah,
It would have won to be
one
one to Sinishot, but the main thing was that basically, if Zacian has gone down and everything, I lost the game. That's the main thing. That's the main idea. But once I realized I was like still in that like go hard or go home type of mindset, and when Cinchino came out, and I'm like, wait, I won? And that's kind of how it went because besides Iron Crown, I think I did get any of my mons killed, so that was absolutely amazing. So, but yeah, I won I think 4-0. Yeah, I won 4-0
Yeah.
or I won 4-0 versus no 5-0 actually because none of my other mons got killed. I think. See, it was 5-0.
Yeah, Klefki was on low HP. Yeah.
It was on low HP, yeah. But yeah, so we beat our back-to-back, matchups against Shadow Gallade. I mean, they're very, like, and I asked them about why he didn't bring Weavile, because Weavile could have destroyed my team. He's like, oh yeah, why didn't I not bring that? And I'm like, oh my god. Like, I'm like, if it worked last time, why didn't you think it would work this time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Chinchino does.
Besides
Like,
hazard clean, I'm guessing, and tidy up,
Yeah,
like a dragon
like-
dance. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Glimmer is just like not very good here. I'm not sure what really thinks, but
Yeah, and the
I
main
just break
thing
the top
too is that
things again.
yeah, and the main thing was they brought Magirna, Palkia, Ursaluna, Terra, and of course Sinister Terra, along with Deoxys and Cinchino for round 1. Mainly the whole-
Yeah.
Weavile was in week 8.
Oh yeah, my bad.
That's why I asked him why no Weavile.
Yeah.
But besides that and everything, Klefki set up screens and I think it was pretty much over. Like, none of their mons could have really killed me. And that's kind of how it happened. And basically, we told about it and you're like, let's go, and everything. But,
Yeah.
so the nickname theme I had for my team against Shadow Gallade in playoffs round 1, I mean, basically week 8, it was just like random letters because I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm trying to name letters because I forgot to do my nicknames. But in round 1, in round number 1 and everything, I named it after Eminem songs. Random Eminem songs that was on there. Yeah, it was after like random Eminem songs and stuff like that. But Shadow Gallade was like, oh, whatever, it's like rap game, But yeah, No, that's shout out to you, Saki, because I remember because I was playing my mocks against what's it called? I think it was either week 8 or round 1. I was playing my mocks while I was doing observations. I was still being observant of like my classes and stuff like that. But it got to the point where I'm like, man, I could just do my mocks right now and be over with it. And I'm like, I just did that while they were finishing up class and stuff, and after that I left. So we're like, oh yeah, you got it. So yeah, besides that and everything, I pretty much was working my ass off trying to beat Shadow Glade, and I think that's what happened. Let's move on to round number 2, and let's see how me and Kipp are gonna work it out and stuff.
Oh, my bad.
We are back. We're round number 2 and everything. We faced off against Horizon, and as you see from our part 1 of our reflection and stuff, like our first little parts of reflection, they decided to change up their Tornadoes, they changed up their Zekrom, they changed up a bunch of Mons. Well, I don't think they changed up Lycanroc if I remember correctly, but they replaced some of their Mons. They got Hatterene, Thundurus, Solgaleo, and Kyurem Black. So yeah, what do you think about their changes from the last time they played? Excuse me.
Yeah, they kind of completely changed their team. Now, I do like that they do now have 2 Ubers instead of 1, from that Zekrom to both the Solgaleo and the Kyurem, but in doing that, they kind of like absolutely destroyed their own speed tiers. Because like, to be honest, they're really not very good, but still, Kyurem Black Solgaleo are a pretty big threat to our team, and I would overall say it was like neutral trades. Wouldn't really say they were better or worse in my opinion. They were.
Yeah, like the whole thing was we tried to set up on Zacian, and what happened was with Zacian and stuff like that, it didn't work out in our favor at all. Because what happened was because we tried setting up, and then boom, Solgaleo just had full-on bulk, like physical bulk.
Yeah, was it like?
And it's all their team. It was like basically, what's it called? They were full-on defensive agility weakness policy.
Well, yeah, things were not going great for us. Obviously against that Incineroar, I believe we missed like 2 focus blasts on it.
No, I think we missed 1 and everything. I was getting aggravated about it, but what happened was
on the first one.
Yeah, and after we burnt.
So basically the idea was sorry.
You're good. You can continue.
We have weakness policy, and yeah, they would activate it with knock off or flare blitz, and we had iron defense. But obviously they instead went for parting shot, which definitely threw us off. I believe you did also go for Tachyon Cutter against the lead Hatterene. I did say go iron defense because the instant switch was definitely coming, but I'm pretty sure you did just go for the Tachyon there.
Yeah, obviously, because I mean, any damage is good damage no matter what. And the main thing was I should have went for Focus Blast over Iron Defense against the Incineroar, and that's my fault on that. But that's the main thing. If I could have got that, and then it would completely decimated the Incineroar from the jump. But besides that, and in the middle of the end game, the main thing was I couldn't do anything with Zacian, I couldn't do anything with whatever. And basically, I used Volcanion to use against Wall against Palafin. Burn it once and everything, boom. We did that, had a Lumberry. So I'm like, yes, this is not going to be Choice Band or Choice Scarf. So I couldn't do that. But the thing was, we killed Toadscrew already from that. And from all this stuff, we tried to Will-O-Wisp the Palafin again in a superhero form. Did a little bit of damage because whatever. But we burnt it. And after we do that, we burnt it and then they started bulking up. And I don't know if we did damage to it and then he bulked up or whatever. But I realized I have to go now into my Zarude because if they bulk up too much, obviously we just lose on the jump. So I went to Zarude. I did I think I mistakenly terra'd because I was kind of like scared, like, oh shit, I think I might be screwed if I just and we were Terra Dark, but the thing was I was like screwed because I didn't know if they had fairy.
Doesn't get U-turn.
Yeah, it doesn't get U-turn. I'm like, yeah. So that's the main thing. I did that, but the problem was, and of course, Dark type moves would power up too. So that's what I was kind of thinking in my mind, which we could have been using Drain Punch. But after we did about 3 free-size 4 bulk ups, somehow he swapped out. Basically he said his entire plan was completely screwed because he was supposed to go back and forth with Incineroar to drop the Intimidates, but he realized like he probably thought the bulk up war would work, and I was praying for no crit. When he swapped, that's when I knew that basically I couldn't win. That they couldn't win the game because my Zarude was set up so far gone. So I think they went to Incin, got the Intimidate as I bulked up again, and then basically after that I just Drain Punched and knocked off their entire team.
Yeah, basically we were just able to bulk up against them since they were burned. They did also keep going for it, but ultimately it did not end out in their favor. Maybe they should have gone Incineroar first if they knew what was gonna happen, but they probably weren't likely aware of what could happen with Zarude. But yeah, we're just able to keep bulking up. Yeah, since we were Rocky Helmet, we are able to chip down that Palafin
really easily.
Real low, because they also had Drain Punch. It would also chip them down. So
and also
between Burn and then Rocky Helmet, we were able to get so much chip on them, just continue able to bulk up before we were able to eventually sweep their team.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. Once we swept up their team and everything, they were so disappointed in everything for what I saw. So I mean, I'm glad that they were so disappointed. I mean, yeah, sure, I broke their heart and everything, but I felt bad because he's dealing with a lot of family stuff and everything. So I was just hoping that we had something through. But let's get into our final matchup in the Windhelm division and see from there. All right, we're in the final matchup in the Windhelm division, aka semis according to them. So I have Zacian, Zarude, and all that stuff, and they brought in their own Terrapico Stellar, of course, Darkrai, Goldengo. This is basically the same team from week number 7, because Grace was already done, but we had a different plan this time. So instead of going for certain sets and everything, we didn't know, or we didn't think that they would go for the same sets. Like some people were trying to go for Scarf Darkrai. I think one person was like, Vaporeon is absolutely needed, and I'm like, I highly doubt that. But mainly last time they brought everything, they got top 5 plus Avalugg.
Avalugg surprisingly a pretty big threat into our team, to be honest. We have a lot of
that's the main
attackers.
That's the main thing.
And yeah, it's important to note that this is also like a rematch that we did lose originally. This was our week 7 match. I believe they brought a very bulky team, Hazard leads, Garchomp, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. That's the main thing. It was top 5 plus Avalugg last time.
And yeah, did do a bit of testing with Bandito. I had a team that was relatively similar to their original build, since it did work out very well for them last time. And yeah, obviously we did do quite a few mocks. I was able to get the win on quite a few of them, to be honest. Because to be honest, it wasn't a very easy matchup.
At all, no.
Yeah, like just their team is scary. Did they get like Garchomp round 4? That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. I was like, crap, how to like Dashing drafted so good for picking Terrapico's round, like they're his second pick. And I think they had Dragapult and Great Tusk round 2, round 3, funnily enough, for my week 3 matchup. And then the opponent they had, the person that replaced them, dropped Golding. They dropped the Calyrex Ice and a few other things, and then went to Deoxys Speed for their one Uber, and then did that, which is pretty wild. I mean, I think they probably finished up 0-8 afterwards. I'm guessing they already lost everything. But besides, either that or they won one game and that was it. But besides that, so in the matchup, we decided to go with Lead Lando, because Lead Lando is something crazy, and we decided, you know what, I can U-turn. I mean, that's all about you. Because last time, turn 1, it was the same set that we did last time for Lando. We U-turned, but Kippy said, or Mickey fan said, hey, I think you should go for Earthquake turn 1, no matter what, on Garchomp. Anything else, you could U-turn. Like, okay, we could do that. So what happened was, our Earthquake Garchomp, I think twice, and it just, I think an Earthquake once, and it just completely knocked it out.
I'm pretty
Not
sure,
knocked it out, but like most of the health. That's what I meant.
Was the switch. It did over half because they were, I believe, just max Spadef rather than max Fizdef.
Yeah.
Something that I believe that you could immediately tell from all the mocks that we did. And
Yeah.
yeah, I have quite a few details to add on our team. Obviously we made some changes. We were first of all a choice scarf Landorus, very strong here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they don't really have a resist. Also outside of the likes of Spidops and stuff, and I guess Avlog is kind of a resist, and that was actually a very annoying piece for them last time. But the idea is that since we can like force them to recover or play defensively on that turn, or maybe go for Avalanche or something, we can get a
Yeah.
pretty free switch out into our Volcanion or our Iron Crown, who was also choice scarf for this matchup,
Mm-hmm.
since to be able to revenge the likes of Darkrai, outspeed Pheasant Deputy if they're max speed for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
like Fast Chomp, um, also +1 Terapagos from Rapid Spin, all just stuff like that, and obviously be able to take out that Oakborn Cornerstone in one hit. And yeah, that was
Yeah.
kind of the idea going forward. We did have boots on our Station, Zarude, and Volcanion, just because of how annoying hazards were for us last time, and they did actually just bring it again, and obviously screen Klefki to help us try and set up for a winning position.
Yeah, and the main thing was that I think Klefki didn't do much with the screens that well. It just basically after the fact that I'm trying to think what we did. I remember who we set up on. I think it was the Fez. I'm trying to remember. It was at the Fez or somebody. Oh yeah, it was Garchomp. Basically, Garchomp was there, and basically because it was like Spadef or whatever, I set up on it, finished it off with that, and then basically from there, um, it knocked out the Goldingo with a critical crunch after Colberberry,
Yeah, with
and it
few
lived
hits.
on like a couple of things of health left after I make it rain. So like, yeah, this is basically max on Golingo.
Yeah, that was actually crazy to be honest. We did have some um thanks to the HP investment, because like no way they don't go Modest Scarf, because like to be honest we have some our gap between Zacian and Zarude is a pretty abusable speed gap, so I
Mm-hmm.
did think that a lot of times we are able just to creep covering that, and
And
obviously I did do that for a few other mons as well. Quite aggressive a creep on both Iron Crown and Landorus, going on a gamble that their Terapagos should only be enough speed to outspeed
max speed
Azation, and I
Zacian.
believe that yeah, and I believe that was actually the speed that they did decide up going for, so it did actually end up working out, so
Yeah,
that
and
definitely felt
the main
nice
thing
when I saw the
was
game play out.
after it got rid of Garchomp, after they got rid of Golingo, they went to Terapagos, and then it clearly did like over 50% with like Terra Shell or something, or like a little bit over 50%. And I was like, oh shit, it's offensive.
Yeah,
Because I calced the
honest-
hell out of Terapagos if that was the case.
yeah, honestly, even considered defensive Terapagos in this matchup, stuff like Raw, Toxic, all that sort of stuff, could potentially have a use here as well.
Mm-hmm.
This was definitely probably the most work that I specifically did for the matchup. I
And I
believe.
worked really hard, try to get as much. I think this was had the most mocks I had ever within the matchup, because I had Saki Dude, obviously. I think I don't know if Dragon Lobster was there, but Dragon Lobster suggests about these things. Valcons worked with me, which was pretty crazy. Wi-Fi, even though I told him that some of the stuff was not going to work out like he thought, and basically he was wrong on certain stuff. Saki helped me out with the whole Goldingo, Copperberry Goldingo, and that's like, yeah, that's definitely it. And that's where you brought in stuff. But besides that, I'm trying to think who else helped me out besides that. Oh yeah, Dustbin Lexi too. He helped me out a
Yeah,
lot with that stuff too. So shout out to them.
they're a great player.
And Sandan too. Sandan LP, that's the one that keeps commenting my stuff. Which shout out to him. He helped me out with like the very end, and he told me about certain things. And he actually destroyed me with the mocks and stuff. I'm like, shit. But yeah, no. Besides non-restricted Skyman, the main thing is that Teravago Stellar should go. Absolutely should go if they do another Uber
Yeah,
fleet.
that mon might be a little broken, to be honest. Yeah, we did also have a pretty cool Zarude set. Luckily we were able to win since our Zacian just got so much done because it was able to live to make it rain. I'm still like not sure how. I mean, I know there were like no special attack investment, but
Yeah.
that not killing is still wild. But our Zarude set is actually like Um, speed. I believe it was creeping something. I don't quite remember.
I
But
think it
it
was
also had
creeping.
a lot of special defense
It
to
was
be able to.
wait, to where up it goes. I think it was enough to outrun Garchomp.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it was actually a little lower than that, but
Yeah, it
yeah,
was like a little bit
considering what
lower
they
to
did
aggro
last
creep
game.
something.
Yeah,
You
but
were ag. Yeah,
Arzaroot, yeah, Arzaroot could even set up on the likes of Darkrai and Goldengo, which is actually crazy. Since we had a lot of special defense investment, Source Dance Synthesis, we can actually just set up on those guys for free,
hmm
which is just absolutely crazy with Terra Water. And
yeah,
yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's a role in our favor to be able to live free dark pulses from Darkrai
Darkrai.
or
Yep.
free shadow balls from Goldengo, which is also a crazy calc. I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
like 80% for us to live the combination of those three moves, which is actually kinda nuts to be honest. But
hmm
yeah, we were able to take home the game. Actually, the game went a lot better than I expected it to, considering how some of the mocks went. But yeah,
Yeah,
we were
like I'm
able
dead ass
to
serious. Like it was like
beat
how the
this.
mocks went. Basically, I think in my mind was they literally used the same team as last time because they were so swamped and
Mm,
stuff like that. That's what I. Whenever they told me like I haven't been doing my videos, I've been doing this. I've been so bogged down. So like he was explaining to me, and I'm like, yeah, I completely get that. And he probably was like glad it was over. Like he said, I'm tired of pal decks and everything. So I don't
that's
know if
fair.
I mean, I don't know if he threw or he was like tired, but like he was like, you know what? If I win against him again, then I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, the team just worked out so well for him last time. He doesn't really have too much reason to change things up. I'm so glad he didn't bring toxic Pheasanttivity. That was something that I uniquely brought for this Zarude because I knew just how much of a threat it could be into his team. Very
Yeah,
glad not seeing that in the game
yeah.
because yeah, that did actually quite a number on you in marks.
Obviously, toxic was a fucking problem. Especially, I think did we change it to jungle healing or did we change it to synthesis?
Nah, we still had Synthesis to be able for like more healing, especially on that Darkrai and Goldengo.
Yeah,
But yeah, Toxic was still really annoying. It was something that I found. I was like, well, I had to find a way to counter the own Zarude that I had cooked up. But yeah,
yeah. So,
that was our game, and we were able to make it all the way to finals.
yep, the finals. Yep. We'll be moving on, and we'll be right back with the final game of the thing. See you then. All right, we got through the finale and everything. So, how do you feel about this matchup in this everything? I felt like, Zarude can do some work, but I was not very confident in some of the stuff because of the mocks completely destroying me. But what do you think about the matchup? I need help to build it as well. Build this as well.
Yeah, to be honest, it was pretty hard in mocks and stuff. Obviously they have so many threats. They have a round 7 Landorus compared to our round 3 one, so
No, no,
that's
no.
certainly something.
They actually traded the
Yeah,
round 7 pick for free just to see Lando.
what? Um, but yeah, their team is very threatening. Obviously Lunala and Urshifu hit very hard. They have great typing synergy with each other, and Cinderace could also be very annoying. Both Court Chain sets and Scarf sets are really annoying, and playing around each one is actually quite different. So it's quite a threat before you know which one it is.
Mhm.
Obviously, stuff like Landorus, Primarina, Tinkerton, Quillfish will with like support they can have, but they can also deal good damage as well. They're by no means passive, so they're definitely threats to consider about, especially if they're able to get like good trades into our team. And yeah, that's kind of what they had going on their end. Obviously, I believe I'm not sure you mentioned this, but this matchup was against Lantern the Comic.
Mhm.
They also have their whole run on YouTube, as well as like most of the other coaches in this
Yeah,
league.
of course.
But if you want to see how things went down on their side, their run, and maybe some of the games against some of the
Yeah, we'll put a
coaches
video in the link
their
in the description
division,
below.
it's all up there.
It's in the link in the
And
description
yeah,
below for our stuff. But yeah, besides that, so Originally, I was double screens because you brought Scarf Cinderace. Basically, you brought top 5 plus Lando. And I've done something, and you brought, I think it was Boots Lunala, if I remember correctly, right?
I was Cobra, but I think some other people in Mox did go for Boots. Yeah.
Yeah, you were Culver. So basically, the entire idea was I was originally going to be Swords Dance, Life Orb Lando, not Lando, Zacian. But what happened was I kept losing a couple times because of Scarf Zacian, not Scarf, sorry, Scarf Urshifu and stuff like that. So I thought of an idea on my own. I mean, this is the first time I did something on my own, and I thought, you know what? We're 4 attacks or adamant. Why not go for a Trailblaze in case there was Scarf Cinderace and increase my speed by +1? So I thought that.
Yeah, and then it just does so much work against their team. Obviously, we did have some bulk as well for your signature Mudkip speed creeping based on our team. Someone will eventually exploit that at some point, but it has worked out up until this point.
Yeah, I think you planned it around Cinderace creeping. What's it called? You were Cinderace creeping.
Zarude, yeah.
It was you do that. You were aggro creeping them. Funnily, or aggro creeping them.
Just such a big speed gap between Zacian and Zarude, to be honest. Like,
but yeah, and the main thing is that's why we exploited it so much because I mean nobody's trying to outspeed Zacian unless they're like Deoxys speed, not Deoxys or whatever, like any form of Deoxys besides defense, and of course you know, any mon that's like between 139 and stuff like that. Like nobody was trying to outrun Zacian, so that was the main thing. Was if you couldn't outrun Zacian, you can at least outrun Zarude, and that's what we tried to exploit.
Yeah, and it worked. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it worked every time during the season. So that was definitely good. Worked out well for us, and yeah, Zacian was able to put in a lot of work in the game as well. Just 4 attacks, Life Orb. Life Orb close combat actually one-shots Cinderace, even with HP investment, which comes from them speed creeping Zarude, which is actually also nice for them if they are like a heavy duty boots, more defense. Like Court Change set. Court Change was also pretty annoying. Really disincentivizes our Glimora. They could just flip all the hazards on us. Also Klefki was quite annoying. We did also originally have both Reflect for and Light
both
Screen.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, they could turn around for that. But I did lose a few times. The Saki dude, and of course he suggested to me, because I think he was the person that brought the correct set of Lunala and everything. He brought the correct set of Lunala into the matchup where he brought what Landon brought. And the thing was, he was in the same preparation thing as Lantern and stuff, so he had to leave the group chat, like he leave the server or something like that, so he could help me out. He brought Power Herb and Moon, and the main thing was he brought that and Moongeist Beam and stuff like that. And the entire situation, I'm like, please no Moonblast, because Moonblast does fuck up my team a little bit. I mean, sure, we have Steel types and stuff like that, but he brought Heat Wave instead of like Focus Blast or whatever, like Saki brought. Yeah. He brought Heat Wave. And I think that was the scariest part, was if I couldn't, I mean, it was a 50-50 roll, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean,
not 50-50 roll, like a 50-50. It never killed, but like Focus Blast killed. Yeah, Focus Blast killed. But he said that if I would have gotten knocked, even if I got burnt, because of Volcanion, it got like about 50% out, like almost about 50% of his health down. Lantern told me, even if I got burnt from that, I still would have killed, he told me.
Okay, so, yeah, obviously that was how the end game did play out, but we'll obviously want to go through a few other stuff as well before then. But yeah,
actually, the main thing was, so because of, and the thing was, most like you and Saki, and I was thinking, you and Saki were like bringing Volcanion, not Volcanion, you were bringing Prim. And my final mocker I've had for this season, which I am Destroy, shout out to them. That was my week 3 opponent, MDL, and week 1 ICP, and we played a couple of times. And I'm like, hey, you can help me out with this. And he was like, hey, let me know if you need anything anytime. I'm like, sure, I could do that. So what happened was, he let me do mocks with him, and he brought top 3 Tinkaton, Quillfish, and Primarina. And also, the thing was, me and Saki literally did everything in our power to bring as much shit as possible. Saki was my main mocker, so shout out to him. But he literally let me, he literally customized everything. He brought in top 6, he brought in whatever. And then, of course, he brought in Appleton, because Appleton could be a problem too, because he had Sludge Bomb on Volcanion for the Prim.
Theoretically, yes.
Like, he literally could bring top 7 plus Appleton, because Rafai ain't going to do nothing against with Urshifu trying to Terra to knock out some of my Mons.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he did beat it to beat the other Zation in his div though, so...
No, yeah, it was the Urzation and everything. He poisoned, because Jarl got poisoned and everything. And basically, every matchup he won against, he got poison hacks. And basically, they're all mad or whatever. And I'm like, look, everybody lost in this thing, because I was telling myself, everybody lost at this because they got mad at poison. Do not get mad, because you still have some, you still have an out. That's what I told myself. You still have an out. Don't get mad about it just yet. So I did that, and then I just kind of was like, and then whenever I was like talking about this stuff, I was like, oh, I'm gonna win it. I'm like, no, don't let it do it. And I was like trying to mention, one of the people I used to watch, Dashy, for a while. And I'm like, he always said, don't count your chickens till you hatch. And I'm like, I had to literally just tell myself that, because you never know what's gonna happen. So what happened
definitely
was,
make some misplays in the end if you like already think that you've won. So that's definitely something you want to consider when playing. Just don't lose your focus. If you've almost got the game, you gotta just still keep focused, or you can end up with some pretty embarrassing losses, I'll have to be honest.
yeah, and that's the main thing. After I was like, don't count your chickens till they hatch, I brought into Zarud, and basically my mindset was either they're gonna Moongeist or they're gonna do a coverage move. I was trying to predict the Moongeist, and even though, because was round 2, I nicknamed them after Big Brother seasons, and of course, well, I named it after Big Brother seasons, and I think the 3rd round, I forgot what I nicknamed them. I'm trying to think.
Oh yeah, you just named them random different Pokemon on your team.
Yeah, that's that Dashing. I just fucked with him and nicknamed him like basically different Pokemon, except for Lando, because Lando's guaranteed the lead. But yeah, so basically just messed around with him with that and named him random Pokemon. But the finals and everything. So I brought my 6 Mons, basically Zacian, Zarud, Lando T, Iron Crown, Volcanion, and of course Klefki. So I nicknamed them after all the people that helped me throughout the season, and of course my stuff. So basically, I named Zarud after you, Kipp, Mud Kipp fan. Named you after that. Of course, Saki Dude being the 2nd best help, I named him after Lando. Volcanion, I named after Dustbin Lexi, and he was like all cheery or whatever, like, oh man, thank you. I didn't know you did that. Like, it's like basically appreciating me for nicknaming him after Volcanion because his steam power. I'm like, I just nicknamed you this because you helped me out a lot. I mean, it's not really special. And it was like, it means a lot to
like a really good player. They've beaten me multiple times, to be honest.
and that's why. And basically, and that's why I nicknamed him that, because he could have done anything to help me out. So. And of course, Iron Crown was Dragon Lobster, even though he wasn't there at the very end, and I felt like he didn't do much, like with some of the matchups. He did carry me in the matchup versus Nuglo and everything. So I'm like, you know what? He helped me out throughout the beginning and the middle stuff. I'm gonna nickname him after that. And then of course, Klefki, Klefki, I nicknamed him or them after my grandma. So. Basically, my grandma, that's what I call Missy. I mean, Missy is a common name around America. Like, oh, whatever. But, basically, I'll tell the little backstory stuff later. But, I mean, I call my grandmother that. All my cousins on my dad's side, from my nanny and her little boys, and then, of course, my little brothers, we all call them Missy, or all call her Missy and everything. So, that's pretty much the whole thing. And finally, we get to our last Mon. So, in the very beginning of the season, my friend Sarah, my close friend Sarah was having a bad situation with her mom. Her mom didn't, she ran out of money because her job fired her and screwed her over. And basically, I was telling myself, hey, don't worry, I got you. I paid her a little bit of money to
Yeah,
help
I
her out
remember
and
that.
stuff. Yeah, so basically, and I told her, I'm gonna win the entire season for you. I told her this, like, I'm gonna get that damn money for you. And basically, even though I guaranteed money versus Lantern, and even though she got the insurance money for, having getting fired from Walmart and then firing the thing before the training period ends and stuff like that, I literally worked my ass off for her. Even though it was not really in my best benefit, I worked my ass off for her, and I named her after the Zacian. Basically, in my opinion, even though Zacian and Zacian, of course, Volcanion, I think Volcanion was mainly the MVP because, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
because
because well, I mean that's why if you see it in the thumbnail yourself in that finals video, Volcanion, what they literally did was, excuse me, they finished off the Shifu. I mean that's one of the main things. They finished off their Shifu. They basically hit the Tinkaton really hard, and I think that was one of the other mons they killed off. No, it was Quillfish they killed off because they got the burn from the steam eruption because they were cussed at. They're cussed at on the Quillfish and everything. We got rid of most of Tinkaton's health. Where Shifu went down because of it as well. Basically, the burn on the Quillfish right here, the burn on the Quillfish from that because of cussed and stuff like that, literally knocked it out because they were cussed Destiny Bond, and I predicted them on that.
mm, yeah,
They were
because
that.
I believe they revealed indoor when we went for U-turn on Lando, I believe.
Yeah, because they were
And
trying to literally predict me going for that earthquake. But what happened was I
yeah,
did
and
that.
also they didn't bring their Primarina, which I believe you saw in every single mock, right?
Almost every single mock except for I am
Oh, okay.
destroy. That's why I literally
Yeah,
was like, well, like yes, thank you, I'm destroy. We didn't have to because they're basically top three. Basically, they're top three: Tinkaton, Quillfish, and of course Lando. They didn't bring
and with
Prim.
Primarina resisting both our stabs, Volcanion just becomes so much more free into their team, and for a while it was like this pretty good piece that I could definitely get good damage off. Um,
We
Suddenly,
didn't expect it to
just
go this
because
far.
they didn't have Primarina, it was just able to do so much in the game.
That's the thing. That's why I told I told Luop, my good friend, I told him, make Volcanion the final Pokemon in the thumbnail. Even though we had, because
Mm.
basically the entire thing was, even though Zacian did a lot of work in that game, Volcanion held everything together. I mean, even though Zacian got like 2 kills and chipped down, not chipped down, like, they basically knocked out Lando, knocked out Cinderace within a hit. And of course they were mad because they didn't burn it or whatever earlier, but they didn't do that. And of course, Klefki too. It spiked up and chipped Lunala, so they basically broke Shadow Shield. But I think Volcanion was the bigger MVP because even though Zacian knocked out, say, Lunala, no, even though they knocked out Cinderace and that, I mean, it did do a little bit of work and stuff. It's just I don't think that because it got knocked out, and you were saying you should have Trailblazed. I don't think it would have survived the trail. I don't. I think. I wouldn't think it would have survived after before Ishifu and everything. If I went for Trailblaze and play rough on the Lando, because we'd get
Yeah, that probably would
double
have
chip
worked
on
out, but
yeah. It was
yeah.
double chip on Rocky Helmet and the Life Orb, and then another chip damage on Cinderace too. So basically, I got 30% on on 3 Life Orb hits, plus the whatever amount of health on the Rocky Helmet. So pretty much I was like around, after the earthquake, I was like 50-something percent, like 52, 53%. So I knew I probably was dead. So that was the mindset of like why I went for play rough in close combat.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And yeah, we were just able to take the game. It went pretty well, to be honest. Once again, just like our last game, we were just able to bring in the Rude to get that final kill. Obviously, um, I do think that maybe you should have terrored, but in the end, it did all end up working out for us, and we were
Yeah,
able
no,
to
and the
get
main thing
some.
was I didn't know how +1 was gonna work against Terra Water Special Defensive Zarude. I was like mentally like
Yeah,
it's a 50-50,
luckily
it's a
we always lived Heat
50-50.
Wave, but yeah.
Yeah,
we
and
were
it was
made
like
to.
it was like heat wave, and I'm like, God, I'm fucking stupid. And I was like in my mind, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, God, I'm fucking stupid in my mind. And then when I saw, I was like, literally, when you heard like the quiet stuff, I was like stuttering. I'm like trying to say my thing. I was trying to say my actual name, and I'm like, yeah, because
I
what happened
mean,
was,
yeah,
I'm like,
we were EV to live 2 modest Moongeist beams from a non-boosted Lunala, so I think the Terror probably was the play there, but you know, they did say that we would have killed even if they got the burn, so hey,
it is what it
a win's a
is,
win.
of course. And then after the game, you were like telling me, you were scolding me about that, and you said, still, you're pretty damn base for even trying to go for that situation. Because I
But
mean, like I literally just accidentally did that, and I'm like knock off and stuff like that. But yeah, I think at the end you said that you would say like you should have done that, and then basically I
well,
was like
yeah,
I was like base as hell according to you because I literally just knocked off the final Pokemon with that, and
yeah, it was all me, guys.
yeah, basically shout out to you, you did it. You were the one who finished the run, so
Yeah.
that's what I did. And you still
Yeah.
like you. It's like almost. I mean, if I would have got crit killed or whatever, I would have lost the game.
Don't say that. That wouldn't
No, I'm
have been good.
serious. I'm serious. To be honest with you, because there were meteor
Yeah, that
beams.
is
There were that.
true.
I would have lost the game because after everything, when I got crit on Zarude, it was Lando left, and Scarf Lando could not outspeed Lunala for sure. So that's the main
Yeah,
thing.
because they agility'd up.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. You cannot outspeed that. So I'm like, please don't crit. I was like, and then I saw that, and just, you know, and that's the main thing. Landon was so sad that he was telling me how sad he was. And he said should have could have would on the spike and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. And basically, I had like the entire thing going through, and I'm like mentally, I'm like, if I win, I'm happy, and I got the money, and I get a little bit more money than I normally do at work. So I'm happy about that.
We were able to get, obviously, not only win the league, also get some nice cash for you as well.
$106
obviously, which is
USD.
very nice.
Yeah, and
Hell
the thing
yeah.
is that I think of course Landern, if I remember correctly, he got say $70 or whatever. So, I mean, whoever wins or loses this matchup, still wins money, but like it's like a $30
Yeah.
difference.
Obviously, at Semi's game versus Dashing, obviously, honestly, to be honest, that might have even been even more impactful because, then you need to win out on your third match placement game to get any money, and it's also significantly less than first and second place.
Yeah, it was
So,
like
yeah.
35 or so dollars. That was like basically it.
Mm.
And Dashing lost the matchup too because, and that's the thing, he had a chance of winning and then just lost it to Rose. And what I hear, I think Saki dude told me that that I think one of the people was telling me that the Lunala matchup was easier than the Zekrom one, and I'm like maybe, but it just depends.
In some cases, I can see it, but yeah. Luckily, we were able to take home the win. Is this your first ever championship?
Sadly, it is. Actually,
Well,
that's the thing.
well,
Sadly,
let's
it
make
is.
it our first. And just, keep winning out from here. I believe you can do it. You've been playing really well. Obviously, I've been giving my shot at the Wi-Fi scene too recently. But obviously,
Yeah,
with some of
make
my
sure, like,
recent vids, I've been hooked
yeah.
up with some in real life stuff. But
Look. Make sure you check out Kipp and everything in the link in the
Yeah.
description below. I'll put his little thing up there and put the link in the description. Just get to him. Watch his stuff. He's a very good player. I mean, he made finals of the CMM.
Thanks.
So make sure you do that. And of course, shout out to Kipp and everything for everything. So, praise it up to her and praise it up to you, Kippy. Just you carry the fuck out of me. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But thank you again, everybody that has helped me.
Thanks
Of course,
for watching.
I'll put everybody's links and everything besides Kipp in the link in the description below. Make sure you join the Bald Joey Draft League as well for Saki Dude once again. Also, stay safe, y'all. Have a nice one. Bandito out.